Hey Derp Nation, how's it going? It is I, Derpy Smiley here, coming at you with a different type of video today. I had, well, not today. I didn't have this idea. I've had this idea recently, but maybe last week, and no, earlier this week. And I thought, you know, The Amazing Race about a couple seasons ago did this thing where they took social media influencers, so that's like Instagram models, YouTubers, Viners, people who were big in the social media industry, and made them race against each other.
These 11 teams connect with millions of people every day.
Superbike in Birmingham!
What happens when you take the world's biggest social influencers offline?
This is how I hitchhike.
Amazing. Amazing.
To race each other in the real world.
So I thought, what if Survivor did this? What if Survivor did the same thing, however, only with YouTubers? So here is who I think would make a great YouTuber 18 cast of players going into Survivor kind of deal. Who I think would make the best candidates to join Survivor, and then maybe I'll do a little thing where I talk about what order a player would be eliminated in, and my reasoning why they would be eliminated. So let's just hop into the people who I want to see in Survivor, the YouTubers I want to see in Survivor. I do want to apologize in advance if I start shifting or moving locations or changing clothes in the middle of the video, because at this point I'm probably going to take my time with this video. I might have it done within like several days. I mean, it's Friday when I'm making this, the 13th, Friday the 13th. No bad luck this way. Knock on wood. There's wood back here. But I do, and depending on when I want to get this out, whether it's on Tuesday, Thursday, or even Friday. Actually, no, it's not going to be on Friday because that's my birthday. Make a different video for that day. But either Tuesday or Thursday, I'm going to have more extended time to even make this. But let's just get into it. So we have the 9 players, and they're split into 2 tribes of 9. And here's who I think will go home first, and then I'll give my reasoning why. I think this one is fairly, obvious why I think he would be going home first. I don't think his team would even like him. I don't think any team that would have him would really like him. There might be some people that may want to keep him, but not everyone's going to want to keep him. I think the majority is going to want him to go home. And it has nothing to do with what he said or did in the game, but more like everything that he said and done outside of the game that paves the way for his early elimination. Now, on to the next person that I think is going home. Now, before I go further, I just want to say, if Survivor had a YouTuber season and they decided to use these players, how I think it will go. Also, I'm not using a simulator because the simulator has its own way and it wouldn't be my way. However, the next person that I think would go home, and I think you could switch up this one and Logan Paul, is Bella Thorne. Now, Bella Thorne started on the Disney Channel. She started with Shake It Up, and then she's been gone from the Disney Channel, came back for a special guest star, in Casey Undercover, as Zendaya's, instead of Zendaya's best friend in Shake It Up, becomes Zendaya's enemy in Casey Undercover, and people would be confused on why she's here because this is a YouTuber only season, and why are you bringing someone from the Disney Channel in, despite probably not even knowing that this is how she gets her money now, which is sort of true. I mean, she's working with YouTubers. I think that sort of makes her one in a way, but I think she would be a cool addition to the cast. So Bella Thorne at 17th place, but she can also be 18th place. You could switch up the last two however you want it, whatever floats your boat. But next person. Now, another thing I want to say is I'm not being biased by what I prefer, because honestly, if I was, this one would be way higher on the list. But I'm just saying that this is how I think, the other YouTubers in the game would vote if they were together. Alright, this is not me personally. This is not really, this is what I think, but me personally, this is not bias. So next one we have is Matthew Patrick with MatPat Game Theory. And this is where voting someone out becomes beneficial for your game. Matthew Patrick runs a game theory channel where he takes a look at games and he goes in depth, does research, and he also has film theory where he goes into films and researches stuff like that. In film theory, mostly, he talks about ways of surviving, like in the Hunger Games or in, whatever other movie. With what he knows, he can possibly survive Survivor easily and become the winner. His team may see that as a target. He is the smartest show in gaming and the smartest show in film. So with that, that could give his team a huge, red signal and just immediately cut him off. And I think Matthew Patrick would definitely place 16th. But now on to our next competitor. Now here's where things get interesting, because I don't think voting off Tyler Oakley would be beneficial for anyone's game. And definitely he would not be a threat, at least I wouldn't think so. And he definitely is not annoying to the point where everyone's going to hate him, like Logan Paul. But he has been on The Amazing Race and has proven that he can be a strong competitor. Now, Survivor and The Amazing Race are two different worlds. However, maybe people will think, okay, he was great racing around the world and he adapted easily. Maybe he'll adapt easily in Survivor, and sending him home is what we need to do. Now, honestly, I think, keep Tyler. I think he would be probably, he wouldn't be easy to win against. I think if you made all the moves and then you were up against Tyler in the finale, I'm pretty sure everyone would vote for Tyler. That's just a given for me. But string him along and you may get far. But again, I think at this point people want to think about their own game and don't want to act sooner. They want to act sooner than later. So Tyler would be the one to go. Now here's where being friends with someone can make you guilty by association. Blair competed in the same season of The Amazing Race as Tyler, has met with Tyler multiple times, is really close friends with Tyler, I'm pretty sure at this point. And Tyler being a threat, quote unquote, to some people in the game. They think that maybe voting off Blair is now the next best move, considering that she was friends with Tyler, well, she is friends with Tyler, and by association she is guilty, and if she goes to the end, she already has Tyler's vote. Who else's vote is she gonna get? And that's where mindset may come in for how you truly want to play the game. In that case, Blair would be the next to go. it looks like I might make this video in one day. However, here, next player gone would be Tyrone Magnus. Tyrone Magnus is buff. That could be a huge threat when you have a stronger guy still in the game and competing forward and probably winning at almost everything. You know, you get him carrying the heavy stuff, you get him up there swimming. You know, I'm not sure, you know, if Tyrone is athletic in a sense, but he definitely is well built. He definitely looks strong, therefore possibly becoming a threat. And this is where voting out for your game is just based on appearance instead of what you actually know. Plus, Tyrone is possibly one of the smaller YouTubers in this entire group of YouTubers that are placed in this game. I think through strength alone, he is an easy target to just be annihilated, done, bye. This is another one of those guilty by association just because you're friends with them. Now, honestly, do I think voting out a friend of a target is a good idea? Yes, but I think it's a good idea if you do it before you vote out the target. But honestly, in this type of game, you know, YouTubers, they might not know strategy that well. I mean, Mari, so far, with me knowing, I think Mari was the only YouTuber to be on Survivor, and she was eliminated second. That's because her strategy was not well built. So, again, you know, but again, Lauren, if she made it to the final two, I definitely believe that Tyrone would be the one to vote for her to win. And who, again, it's another one of those, you know, who else would vote for her kind of thing. And I think a lot of people would vote for her to win if she made it far, which is why they need to vote her out now. Now, Jenna Marbles, she's comedic. She really is. She's funny, she's outgoing. However, she does give off that, like, ITGAF vibe that, you know, you sort of don't want to have around you when you're playing in competitions. At this point, people are, like, you know, could get annoyed easily with her, you know, my way or the highway attitude that she would have about the game. At that point, she could easily be targeted just for that, just for the my way highway attitude that she has. But obviously, if as you could tell, there were other bigger threats to get out before her, which is why she is at 11 and why I believe she would be at 11th. Now we're at merge with the final 10, and at this point, Joey Graceffa is gone. You know, and here's why. I think I believe it would be similar to Tyler, because Joey also was on The Amazing Race. However, he was on 2 seasons of The Amazing Race, 22 and 24. 22, he made it to the final 5 before he lost, and in 24, he was third eliminated, which is what gave people hope, thinking, okay, you know, he did great his first time, but his second time, not so much. So maybe he's not as huge of a target as we think he is. But at that case, Joey would tend to prove himself more as a competitor, making people just think in the back of their minds, he needs to go. And that's why I think he would come in 10th. At this point in the game, everyone has to make their game moves, which will only benefit them in the game. Now, at this point, I think that Lele will go, not for any reason in particular, not for being a threat, not for being annoying, but just because she's likable. Being likable could definitely be an interference in your win in the end of the game. If people like you, people are going to vote for you. If they don't like you, they're not going to vote for you. Now, if people have compared themselves to players as, like, if it's me against them, who would they like more? And that is what happened here. Like, just like what people think on YouTube, these guys are going to come in here with the thought that this is a popularity contest. Probably. I mean, not all of them think like that. I'm just saying that it is possible that YouTubers do get treated as if that is what it is, even though it's not. So I think, Lele gone 9th place because it's so close to the end. Melinda would get eliminated for the same reason as Lele, likability. Plus, on top of that, Melinda is talented with her voice and has made pretty good memes, gradually watermelon. But in all seriousness, Melinda would be voted out due to game moves that other players have to make to assure their victory in the game. Here is the final person that I think will be eliminated due to likability. Everyone else from here on point will be eliminated due to other game-changing moves, but Markiplier, I think, is the last person to be eliminated in a row due to his likability. Markiplier has made live streams for many charities, many honorable causes. He has put so much time into videos to make us happy, us the fans. And again, this is something that could play a huge part in voting for a winner at the end. Knowing Markiplier, the money wouldn't even go to him, it would go to a charity of his choosing, obviously. But I think it would be, super awesome to just, see Markiplier play and make it as far as this, maybe even farther, but in my mind, I would just assume that he would get eliminated due to likability instead of actual gameplay strategy. Now, I personally think that it may be easy to check off I, Superwoman, Lilly Singh, as a player that would be easy to win against. But honestly, I don't think so. I think Lily would play this game and be pretty much the prime reason for many blindsides in the game, making her a possible threat. And as people catch on, they're gonna eliminate her. I think that she would land maybe higher than 6th, but obviously. Everyone else who's left is pretty smart to know, like, okay, no, she's got to go now. Alright, so here we go. We have the final 5, and at the end of the day, I think Shane is gone. I think Shane would have had a great strategy from the start. However, there could have been some sidetrack along the way, and some possible backdoors that he may have missed on. However, in the end, I do think that he would have made it pretty far. How far would you say? Well, me personally, I'm not sure, but if it was a cast of this, I think it would be at this point. I think other players definitely in the cast have a more likely reason to just go, while Shane just stays where he is at 5th. So let's just move on to the next one. Alright, the final tribal council before the finale, and Ian is eliminated right before it, now leaving Kurt, Colleen, and Justine to just hope that they get the jury votes in the finale. So, this is where Ian went wrong. His gameplay was great, he was smart about it, however, in the end, he didn't make enough allies to assure his victory, as I think Justine and Kurt would have made a great team, or Justine and Colleen would have made a great team, and then Kurt just being able to persuade them into being like, hey, keep me. I think Ian is dead weight. I use the term dead weight very loosely because I think Ian probably had the most potential out of everyone to win. But again, being a threat doesn't help for much. So now let's just head to the finale. So, here we go. Here's finale, and Kurt places 3rd in the game. Now, everyone had probably felt like Kurt was a floater up till the end, which, based on his personality, would seem like the proper thing to sort of say. However, again, you don't know what these guys are capable of put in a competitive space. However, I do think that Kurt would be more of the floater type, and somehow making his way to the finale. He does, but he does not get the proper amount of votes to win. Justine basically stayed in the middle of the pack. She wasn't a floater, but she also wasn't seen as a threat, helping her out throughout the game. She was a factor in some blindsides, not many, not as many as Lily at least. However, she did not get enough votes to be crowned the winner of the YouTuber edition of Survivor. Colleen places first because she had two main things: likability and strategy. She laid low for the first few, kept herself in the middle for the next couple, and then when it meant the most, she leaped ahead in front of everyone and has gained the most votes to win Survivor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will make another video at some point, probably before Big Brother ends, talking about what YouTubers I think will join Big Brother, and in what order I think they will leave in. Also, who I think the HOHs would be in the season, who would win the POV, and who would be put on the block. Because that's going to be a lot longer. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like it up, share it around, sort of, this is just to get an idea out there of, if these guys were in the specific setting, what I think it would be like. So, till then.